What is happening, guys? Hello and welcome to Whisky Adventures episode number 2. My name is Mitch Bechard, and firstly thank you so much to everyone who left positive comments about episode number 1. If you haven't seen it yet, click the link below and you can check it out where I go around the Glenkinchie Distillery in Edinburgh. Also comment below if you've got any ideas for another whisky adventure that you'd want to see me do. Lockdown 2 has unfortunately hit again in Scotland, so I'm kind of limited to where I can travel right now for this week's adventure. So I've kind of decided to keep it in Fife. So I'm going to start this episode off by giving you a little tour of my village of Aberdour, and then we're going to go through to a distillery you've probably never heard of before. So Aberdour has a pub, a phone box, it's got an amazing golf course, got 2 amazing beaches overlooking Edinburgh, the coolest post office in Fife, hi Amanda,
hiya,
and a castle that was used in the Outlander series. So in these episodes I plan to kind of look forward and look at the exciting and interesting things that are going on in Scotland right now within the Scottish whisky industry and within Scotland in general. But I also feel that it's important to look back to the past and see what happened within this industry in Scotland. So we're going to have a look at some of these lost distilleries throughout these episodes. That's what we're going to do today. About 15 years ago, a good friend of mine, Sandy Robertson. This is Sandy. Sandy is the handiest whisky. The guy's just built his own house in Speyside. So the time of the story though, Sandy's living in Burnt Island, where we're about to head to now. And I go round to his for a few beers, and he's built this amazing bar. I go in there and I see this picture, and it's an old poster, and on it says Old Burnt Island Whisky. And I was like, what's that? I didn't even realise Burnt Island had a distillery, and that's how I found out that the Grange Distillery, which is what we're going to go and see today, actually exists. I made it through to Burnt Island, and this is the Grange Distillery we're looking at right now, or what's left of it. It's amazing to think that over 100 years ago, whisky would have been made right here. Now, I've done a lot of digging into this distillery, and it's pretty hard to find any kind of information on it. The only real solid record that we've got is from a gentleman called Alfred Barnard, who from the years of 1884 and 1886 travelled the length and breadth of Scotland by any means possible, visiting over 126 of its distillery. He saw 19 bonded warehouses at the Grange Distillery, capable of holding 650,000 litres, or I think it was gallons actually in the day, of whisky, which is quite incredible. This distillery was massive for its day. The distillery was capable of producing 250,000 litres in a year, which isn't much by a modern day distillery. I mean, we have distilleries in Scotland right now that are producing over 1 million litres, or millions of litres every year I should say. But back in 1886, that was a lot of juice to be producing. So the distillery sadly closed its doors in 1927, and unfortunately there is no way that this bad boy is opening back up again. This is the old distillery manager's house that back in 1886 Alfred Barnard described as an old mansion. This was actually used originally as the housing for the distillery manager, but later got turned into just offices for clerks and workers and principals at the distillery. It's been amazingly restored to a 6-bedroom house. The distillery is now behind me. I'm going to take a walk up this hill that they call the Bin. So we're going to go check out the amazing view you get up there of Burnt Island, and also the water source and the reason why this distillery was actually built. Tell you what, I had a few Dalmores last night, and I'm pretty sure I can smell it oozing out of me right now. I think getting to the top of any kind of summit like this, it deserves a wee reward, right? I thought what I'd do is drink a whiskey that is the nearest to this point I am at right now. The closest distillery that is to me at the moment is the Holyrood Distillery, which opened up back in July 2019, so they legally don't have anything they can call whiskey right now. However, I am good friends with the owner of the Holyrood Distillery, Mr. David Robertson, who gave me a little cheeky sample. What they're doing there is creating many different styles of whiskey. I'm going to do another episode on this very shortly, but for now, I'm going to enjoy this wee sample that was given to me. Slange. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that episode. It's been a lot of fun filming these. Please do me a favour, hit that subscribe button if you want more content. And as we say in Scotland, Slange va. A lot of walking in this episode, right? I feel like I've turned into... Whiskey. A lot of walking in this episode. I feel like it's turned into like... Whiskey. Weir's Way, you know what I mean? Anyone remember Weir's Way? Remember Weir's Way? Old programme back in the day, an old guy just trekking around Scotland. I vaguely remember it. Pretty dull though. Hopefully this isn't that dull.